Alright, hello everybody and welcome to the next Speedrun Interview. Today I'm interviewing a Sonic Adventure 2 speedrunner named Garrett. Alright, it's been a while since we've done this interview on the channel, so to refresh your memories, I'm going to ask him questions related to speedrunning, about 5 questions, and I'll probably ask him more over time depending on his answers. And also, this interview series is to also help fellow speedrunners, get their names out more, try to get more recognition for them. But okay, now Garrett, the first question for you is, why did you start speedrunning?
That's a good question. So throughout 2014 through 2017, I was just a viewer. But I really liked the idea. Like the first time that my older brother told me that, he's like, someone beat Ocarina of Time in 17 minutes, right? And I was like, what? There's no way. You can't do that. You can't beat all the bosses. You can't get all the items. You can't do all that in 18 minutes. And then I watched it and I was like, wow. It was like, so people are doing that and doing these glitches in a game like this that I love. Like, what about all the other ones I love? So then I just started watching more and more. And then Sonic Adventure 2 being one of my favorite games ever, I looked that up on Twitch, and then that's when I saw Talon speedrunning. I'm sure you're familiar with Talon. And then I was watching him, and then yeah, I just started watching for a long time, and I always thought it was cool, and always kind of envisioned myself doing it one day. And then, one time I was just watching a speedrun stream with my older brother, and it was honestly just a really simple exchange. I was just like, wow, I really want to do this. Like, I want the camera, I want the splits, I want to stream on Twitch. And then all he said is, then make it happen, do it. And I was like, you know what, I will. And then one winter break from college, I started and just rolled with it for 4 years.
How was your first experience with speedrunning on stream?
I didn't really have a good layout or anything. I just made sure the games and the splits were on there. I don't really have a great computer background, and I had no experience with OBS, but I figured it out, streamed, and then obviously I was new, so I wasn't very good at the time, so I was always scared if top runners were watching and they're like, oh my god, they're gonna make fun of me or whatever because I'm playing so poorly. So I was really nervous streaming for the first time, and then I saw one of the top runners, Drum Basher, he came into my chat, and I'm like, oh my god, now I gotta play good, even though I really couldn't because I was such a new runner. And then he brought in a couple other of the top speedrunners, and I was really nervous to stream. And then after that stream was done, I was like, I don't know if I want to keep streaming. I'm so bad. But then they just kept teaching me and cheering me on and inviting me in the Discord. They taught me a bunch of stuff, and so my first couple streams were rough, but as I got more involved with the community, I realized everyone's super nice and helpful, and then that just made me want to stream more.
Yeah, I've seen what the how the Sonic Adventure 2 speedrun community can be, thanks to Summoning Salt's world record history video of Sonic Adventure 2 Hero Mode. Seems like it's a great community, and with my experience with my blindfolded runs, sharing it with y'all, yeah, I really love the community. Now,
yeah, it's been really cool to see some of the categories you've done, like the Chow percent, and then yeah, obviously like you said, the blindfolded ones. That's all fun stuff. It's creative, and you don't see a bunch of people doing that kind of stuff, but it's cool to see for sure.
It's because I love to challenge myself to impress the community, not for fame and such. I just love impressing others in general.
Sure.
What games are you currently speedrunning? What games do you plan on speedrunning in the future?
So, I've done Sonic Adventure 1 and Sonic Adventure 2. That was kind of my bread and butter, and I always like to compete at the top level, top 15, top 10, and even top 5. So I really didn't get to speedrun a ton of games because getting to that level just takes so much of your time, and then with working full time, it was just hard to really branch out. But Um, recently, I've just been doing a lot of work with doing commentary for a lot of the tournaments and stuff, so I really haven't been speedrunning a ton, but I am getting a Nintendo 64 for Christmas, and I would like to dabble more in Mario 64. Maybe that'll be some 70 star, maybe just more 16. I've done a little 16, or maybe some 120 stuff. We'll see. But definitely want to dabble in the speedrunning side of that game more.
I heard that Mario 64 is a very difficult game to get used to. I've tried it myself. Oh my god, I am downright garbage with that game.
Yeah, I'm sure it feels with how technical and hard that game is. I'm sure it takes a very long time before you can say like, oh, I'm all right at this now.
Yeah. Now, what glitches, skips, and or tricks would you say has been the easiest and also the hardest for you to perform?
That's a good question. I would say in Sonic Adventure 2 Task Run, which is in Green Forest, where you get the loop speed trigger and then you run up the wall or the tree,
yeah.
I guess.
Oh yeah.
And then jump off, change the camera, get enough height and distance to make it over the ledge. I mean, I learned the skip, but I never even incorporated it into runs yet. Like, it's not in my PB or anything. It kind of gate kept me from wanting to continue to speedrun Hero Story. So I'd say that is probably the hardest that I have endured. And then some of the easier ones, I would say, it's weird because like no strat is ever 100%. You know, eventually, like you can get to like in the upper 90% for success rate, but it's never gonna be perfect. So, I would probably say. I mean, I'm very rarely do I ever fail zero cycle in Mission Street. I've seen a lot of people like whiff pause hovers, but I like rarely ever do that. So I'm definitely better at that skip than most people. The final chase skip that was found back in 2020 by JW, I actually made two in-depth tutorials for that skip, and those are up on YouTube. Windy Valley skip in Sonic Adventure 1 Sonic Story. I also have a tutorial for that. And then also Profit Bounces in Egg Golem. And I wouldn't have made tutorials for those two if I didn't think I had them down rock solid and could really explain how the trick was and like what goes through my mind during them. So I would say those are probably some of the easier ones for me, just because I really honed in on you know, the inputs in stick directions and things like that. So yeah, I'm definitely pretty good at those, even though some of those are still pretty difficult for most people.
What about the super bounce trick?
I guess I would also say that's one of the if I had to add another one to what I think is the hardest skip, I would probably put that I'd probably put Egg Golem super bounces in my hardest skip category, because I never got them down enough to where I felt like I could do them in a fight, in a run. They're just too inconsistent for me.
To be honest, most of the tricks that I've tried doing in Sonic Adventure 2, I can't even do. I can never figure out how the pause, like that, the pause jumping that you do with Tails and Eggman, I can't ever get the timing. I've not gotten it once. I've gotten super bounce like maybe 2 times. It's just very complicated for me personally. So, I mean, I don't know how those tricks even work.
The pause hover is well, what a lot of runners do is they remap their controller to put pause as the right bumper, so then you quickly tap the pause button, or A, pause, and then unpause. And it's just easy to do with just 2 fingers versus like having to use your other hand to pause on like the main pause button. So that's what most runners do to get them off quickly, especially because our timing method also times pauses, so you don't want to be in the pause in the menu screen like for too long, otherwise you're just bleeding time away.
Is it really as simple as that? Just pause and then quickly, like jump, pause, and quickly unpause?
Yep, you press A to jump quickly, and then pause right away, and then unpause A.
I figured it was.
Pause, unpause A.
I figured it was that simple, but even that's so difficult for me.
It's really, it just comes down to when you're trying to get the feel down, just like go in a open area in like an Eggman or Tails stage, and then like it doesn't, you don't have to just do it like where the trick is performed or where you have to do it. Just get that muscle memory down, because that's really what it comes down to in the end. It's just muscle memory. Like you don't even think about it when you're doing it after a while.
Okay, I may try to practice that at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, were there any video games that you were shocked to see speedruns of?
Well, I guess there's certain games that I was surprised to see are more popular than I thought would be. Luigi's Mansion being one. I know that's a really popular speed game, and I didn't really think there was much there because I mean it's Luigi walking around with a vacuum. I never thought that would be that popular. Like when you think speed, like you think fast characters like Sonic. So that's one that. So I guess there's usually like a speedrun community for like every game. But to see certain games be more popular than I thought is definitely eye-opening. I do like, there's Barney's hide and seek game. Like there's Sonic Adventure runners that have ran that. So I guess I'm surprised that has a category on speedrun.com.
It's kind of funny when I see speedruns of like Barney games, even some like Elmo games or even My Little Pony games.
Yeah. Yeah, there are still some weird ones. Probably a lot of games I've never even heard of that are on there.
I'll be honest, I have speedrun quite a few weird games myself.
Like what?
Oh my god, I don't even know if I should say. Okay, I'll just go ahead and say it. Some of my viewers know this already. Like, you do know My Little Pony, right?
Yep.
You're gonna be weirded out by this, probably. It's a flash game where you're healing the feet of a pregnant Twilight Sparkle. Yes,
interesting.
Yes, I know that's weird, but not to try and turn this on me in this interview, but it's because I've always loved trying to speedrun games that people would least expect someone to speedrun. It's just interesting to see and quite shocking as well, in my opinion.
Agree.
So yeah, like I'm pretty weird with variety when it comes to speedrunning.
Yeah, I mean the first video I saw from you was the Blue's Clues Mario Bros one. I didn't even know that was a thing until I saw you play it. So you're definitely getting the exposure for some of those games.
Believe it or not, there was no video anywhere online of that Flash game until I uploaded my first speedrun of it.
Interesting.
What is your biggest goal currently for speedrunning?
My big goal for speedrunning actually isn't even about me at all. It's more about becoming someone in the community that's in a leadership position. I want to do a lot more with like motivating and helping people to, even go farther beyond what I have done. That's really what changed for me over the last couple of years, is that before I always just kind of looked at it as me, like I want to be up on the top of the boards. I don't want anyone to bot my times, or that's gonna piss me off. And now it's just kind of shifted, and it's like I want people to beat my times. That's just the growth of the game is so much more important to me now than the growth for myself. So my goal for speedrunning is just to continue to kind of mentor people and help them out, get them involved in the community. I think that's a lot more valuable than any run that I could perform.
Um, like, how competitive would you say you are with speedrunning?
Super,
Very.
super competitive. Um, when I was really grinding the dark story category of Sonic Adventure 2, I definitely had a rival. His name is Savick. He's a very active member of the SA2 community. And we were just going back and forth in so many categories, mainly dark story, just bopping each other. And man, did it pissed me off every time he beat my time. And he knows it too. Like, he can watch this and he'll be like, oh yeah, like I would just be, at a friend's house or something, and I'd like boot up his stream and see that he beat my time, and I'd just be like, damn. And then I'd just be upset the rest of the night. Like, that's how competitive I got. Like, I was always thinking about staying ahead of him. And a lot of times I couldn't. Whether it was Dark Hero, All Stories, some of the miscellaneous categories, we just kept going back and forth for a while. But I do love that, though. Like, having a rival really kept me competitive. I mean, there were certain people that could bop my times, and I wouldn't care at all. But him specifically, that got under my skin a little bit. So that really made me get better and better at the game. But yes, super competitive with this, with sports, with a lot of things. I'm just a competitive natured person.
How about towards Emerald?
Emerald? Well, Emerald has actually always been ahead of me on the hero story side, and I know he doesn't really care about the dark story side. So I guess I'm not really trying to keep up with him. I'm certainly not trying to keep up with him in terms of viewers. He's just a really good content creator, and it's been awesome to watch him grow and like just just any night I come home from work or after volleyball or something, just to turn on his stream and just chill. Like, he does a really good job of that. So I'm not too competitive with Emerald necessarily. I don't compete for his viewers. I don't compete for his times really. But he definitely is very competitive with other runners in the community. Dawn being one of his good friends, and they're always neck and neck in hero stories. So there's a lot of people in the community that have rivals, which is cool. Enough rivals to where Sacer Events puts on these rival battle showcases across all the Sonic Adventure era games, whether it's Sonic Heroes, Sonic Adventure 1, Sonic Adventure 2, Shadow the Hedgehog. There's all kind of rivalries all over the board, and it's awesome. It really keeps everyone going.
Rivalry and competition definitely makes speedrunning more fun, especially if you're having fun with each other.
Yep, absolutely.
Like, what has been the most difficult part of speedrunning for you? Like, since you started?
Sure. Well, it was a lot easier when I definitely had a lot more free time in college and during the pandemic to speedrun. So that made it easier for me to speedrun, but what's made it difficult more recently has been a number of things. A major thing would be just trying to do like a work life and speedrun balance, because like I was saying, once I started working full time and then wanting to compete at the top level of Sonic Adventure 2 and Sonic Adventure 1, I was really just not having like that much free time in my life. I'd go to work, I'd go to the gym, I'd come home and eat, and then I'd just grind speedrun for like 4 hours and then go to bed. And that cycle just became so repetitive to me. And then like every night I would do a stream, and after like 4 hours I didn't get any good runs or not even a PB or anything. That really got to me. It's like, am I just wasting my life? Like, what am I doing exactly? It just feels like all I'm doing is working and then coming home and choking runs. And getting over that mental block for a while was really, really hard. And then I debated stopping.
Ooh.
And then there was one weekend where I had some time to do runs, and I pulled off a 5th place All Stories time in Sonic Adventure 2. I got 5th place, and I always wanted top 5 in All Stories because it's my favorite category. And then you could tell how difficult things were for me because I just broke down. There's a minute-long clip of me just bawling my eyes out after I got 5th place. It was really just so much relief after thinking, like, you know, I have a job now. I just don't have as much time to speedrun, and I'm just feel like I'm getting worse, and I was feeling really defeated. So then to pull off that top 5 time, that meant everything to me. It really did. And then everyone in the comments, just all the GGs, and there's so many people watching, and I was like, this is, and it still is, that is the best moment I have ever had in speedrunning. Just all the hardships that happened in my grind just all paid off in one run. It was awesome. So it was really difficult just trying to balance my time between working, my real life, and trying to be a top level runner. It's a lot. It really is just a mental grind.
Man, like, it is like such a great feeling of accomplishment when you beat a time that you've wanted for so long. I mean, I felt that way with Buffy the Vampire Slayer on the original Xbox, trying to beat it in under 2 hours for a few years.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's always the culmination of like years. You know, you'd never see someone get super emotional about a time that only took them a couple months. It's just like, just looking back on the years and all the people you've met and everyone that's helped you and just all the efforts just paying off. Like, it's a great feeling, and it's awesome to see other people get that feeling too.
I'm sure it is. Okay, that's all I could think of for the interview.
Okay.
Yeah, that lasted a little over 20 minutes. I think that's good.
Yeah.
But okay, thank you so very much, Garrett, for being part of the series.
Yeah, thanks for doing this. It was fun.
And if you guys would like to check out Garrett, I'll leave a link to both his Twitch and YouTube in the description down below. Okay, but thanks again, everyone, for watching. If you guys have any recommendations for anyone that you would like me to interview, let me know in the comment section down below. But alright, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye, everyone.